welcome back to the South Stand View X Only Leeds Bros. As you can see, it's the three regular knobheads and Dillo and Darren. Lads, how are we?
Yeah, all good, Isaac, mate. Thanks very much for having us on, lads. Really appreciate it to come on and have a chat with you after that unbelievable game last night. We obviously spoke a little bit but before we went live. It's just, it's the buzz is still there. Usually kind of after games, you kind of go away after a win, but last minute goals, lads, this is what we're in football for, isn't it? Just pure elation, and it's rolled on to today as well.
Yeah, mate, massively. Dillo, how many times have you watched the Pascal second goal, mate?
Apart from choking, probably a good few times now, if I'm being honest.
Dillo, I was going to mention this. I saw some snippets. I saw some snippets of the watch along that you did, and first of all, absolute scenes when that second goal went in. I thought you were going to die there, Dillo. You were.
I did. I was resurrected. Pascal Struijk resurrected me on the spot there and then. No, it just completely caught me off guard, lads. I was in the height of it with the referee. I wanted to put me head through a wall at one stage, and then just seeing that going in. I've been told to just stay away from water now. I'm done. But apart from all that, what a game! What a response! I just love this club. Just absolutely love it, adore it, and we go again there next Monday. But I'm lost for words as I still am. I keep going around the gaff in the house. We call it a gaff over here in Ireland. In the house, just going do. And it's just, the missus keeps saying you're going to keep waking the child up. Probably is awake there, but sure, look, it is what it is. You have to keep rolling, don't you?
It is what it is, mate. I mean, Mikey Walk is his youngest up, didn't he, mate? After that second goal.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it.
He was still awake when we equalised, and he just nodded off. So anyway, second goal went in, and as he was like, "Fucking get in, go on!" And then he's like, "Have we scored again? Half asleep. Have we scored again?" So I was in doghouse this morning for waking kids up, but it's just worth it. I'd do it again.
It's worth it. Definitely.
I agree.
So, Charles, as the correspondent that was live from Elland Road, shall we now call you Charlie or Squeaky Bollocks? What do you prefer?
Whichever you want, mate. Whichever you want. Listen, I said off air, I have zero shame. I'm not playing it now on the live. I'm not going to put.
But you do have a little bit of shame.
Spoil spot.
I am putting people through that, but no. All jokes aside, mate. Yeah, as a few of you have said, just an unbelievable game. By far the best atmosphere in a very, very long time, and just unbelievable.
Does that beat Borough for best limbs, Charles? To me, it did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I had a random slap to the face. I think I elbowed someone's head in front of me by accident. I had like 3 lads on top of me.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about Leeds game, Charlie?
He didn't go to the match.
He didn't even go.
All right, let's keep it PG, lads.
I'll jot that down. Mike 1, Charlie 0.
Yeah.
But did you see anything of Big Gaz, mate? Was he on his best behaviour? For those that don't know, Big Gaz is my dad, the bell end.
And he sits literally sits on the row behind me, but like a little bit further down. And I think you can always hear him before you actually see him.
Oh, yeah.
Usually. But I think last night was that loud that he didn't stand out for a change, to be fair, mate. So no, I didn't really hear out of him.
Well, what do you call it? Disclaimer. I got a phone call before full time and he was walking back to the bus. So he missed the winner. And all I've seen on Twitter from these horrible Mackham bastards is that, that's the reason why we don't win as many at home, because half of our fans are fucking on the A19 back to Sunderland. Is anyone else in there? Fuck off.
Yeah, I saw that. They were basically saying that the crowd were the 12th man last night, weren't the Sunderland fans? And probably rightly so. But Charlie, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. I wasn't at the game last night, but do you think that last night's atmosphere beats Leicester last season?
Oh,
it's a close one, that one.
Yes, slightly.
Yeah. Okay.
Only because I think this one means a little bit more than what that one did, in a sense of, I've seen a lot of people say this and I agree actually. I think the Leicester one was different because I think we were still a bit behind them at that point, and obviously it was obviously harder for us to get back into that race, wasn't it? Whereas I think this one has just given us that perfect amount of breathing space between us and the playoffs now, where going into Sheffield United, you know, spoiler alert, I do think Leeds will win that game as well. But at least if we don't, it's not as detrimental to the season as I feel like if we'd have lost that last night, then that Sheffield United game is even more important, isn't it? So no, I think that one last night topped it just because of everything that it meant, and yeah, unreal.
I think with Farke's first year, with Farke's first year in charge when we did beat Leicester, I think it was kind of hard to believe all the drama and hurt that we had in previous, and we were starting to believe in something that, and also I think we can all agree in the back of our minds was too good to be true. And then obviously we got to Wembley and look, we didn't get there in the end.
Fell out as usual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think with last night, I have to agree, Charlie. It's that type of belief, and it's going to happen this time. And as Darren said, it's that kind of Bielsa again around the club with that kind of hole. You know, I think even with Farke celebrating the way that he did, you know, just the little things with Kilavogi grabbing him, trying to get him up off the floor. You know, as I said, Bogle still sliding around the pitch, still going up and down the steps. You know, it's just so that type of. You know, I have to agree. I think it just seems a bit, you know, that we wanted it more, and it feels right and more than what Leicester was. You know, so yeah, I have to agree.
Just to add to that as well, quickly, I think in the Leicester game last year as well, I felt like we actually played quite poorly up until the 80th minute in that game, whereas this one last night, although I think Sunderland were slightly the better team in that first half, I felt like it was a lot more competitive and a lot more on a knife's edge rather than the Leicester one was, I think. And especially second half last night, I thought we proper took them to the cleaners in that second half. So, yeah, 100 times better than the Leicester one. Yeah.
I would just like to give a special mention to something that Mikey said in the Sunderland preview.
I totally forgot about this.
I was watching the preview last night because, you know, when you just can't get enough fucking content down your throat. So I was watching it back. Obviously, it's the one I wasn't on because I was at work. Or no, I went to the cinema. And Charlie said something, and word for fucking word, Mikey, what did you say?
I said we were talking about Charlie's bollocks dropping again, weren't we? In game, well, obviously before the game. My exact words were, you can just see it. Charlie's bollocks are going to drop when Leeds score a winner in the 95th minute. And I said, I called it completely. Did I put a bet on though, boys? That's the question. Did I bollocks? You know, I've not won a bet for about 2 years, and then I say stuff into existence, and I don't even put a bet on them. So it's all right, you know, giving it all big licks and saying, well, I've predicted it, but could have won some fucking money, couldn't I? Yeah. But yeah, just to go back to Charlie, you mentioned Sunderland and how good they were in that first half. For me, I think it's probably the best team that we faced at Elland Road this season. I don't know what you guys 100%. Think, especially in that first half. I thought they were brilliant, really, to be fair. I think, you know, they got forward in numbers. They knew when to kind of press us. They knew when to let us keep the ball. And at half-time, I was quite concerned that, you know, we weren't going to get something out of this game. I think probably they were a little bit naive in the second half, wasn't there? Because they thought they could just sit back and defend the game, and nobody can really do that against Leeds, especially in this past couple of months. But I just wanted to kind of, you know, say I'm not one for giving praise, but hats off to Sunderland, really, because I thought they came to play football, and we don't see it at Elland Road, do we, usually?
Well, we can because we won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If we'd have lost, I wouldn't even be here today, boys. I wouldn't even show up. I'm not petty.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Mike. I thought Sunderland they were very, very good. And you know what? It felt like they were very aggressive with Leeds, didn't they, last night? And very similar to the way Burnley were when Burnley kind of got their first goal. It was similar sort of tactics. You know, they were going in hard trying to frustrate our players. I think we can all agree there was a lot of Charlie, you were in the ground. There was a lot of tasty tackles going in as well. There was one on Solomon as well that was lucky not to be sent off injured on Young with a follow through as well. Bogle had one on Joe Bellingham as well. So there was a couple of tasty tasty tackles in there as well. But thought they were very physical side as well. But I think probably just about Leeds' quality and probably the little bit more experience that we have in the team probably shown through a little bit. It's a very, very young midfield in Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg. So I think that's probably what just tipped the balance. And then obviously a little bit of quality from Rotwell as well. I think for me just changed the game. It's just that 1%. But that's what gets you out of this division, lads, doesn't it? Them 1%.
I think Mikey called it. What did you call it, mate? The mark of champions last night, you said, mate. Something, was it, Mikey?
Yeah, it's a response to champions, is that, isn't it? I think when the chips are down and you have to dig deep and pull something out, that's what the best teams do in this league. And, that's exactly what we did. So, I think like what Charlie said as well, I think it gives you more confidence, doesn't it, going into that Sheffield United game. And it also gives you that confidence as well as if it don't necessarily go our way, if we do, God forbid, lose or draw, we've got that cushion now, haven't we, as well? So, but I think we win that game. I think we definitely win that game on Monday.
I think, though, from last season, I've said it on our own videos and other content creators, that it felt like last season we solely relied on 3 individuals.
Yeah.
Whereas this season we're overall, like utilising the bench an awful lot more. Like at the end of the day, that bench is stacked and whatever. I know I call it the 70-minute course. But when he does make these substitutions, seeing the players come on, whether it's Ramazani, whether it's Nando, or like that, if it is Struijk or Joseph, you're kind of rubbing your hands to say, I'm looking forward to this. Whereas last season it was kind of, this is what it is now, But
we're a better all-round team this season, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're a better all-round team.
I think I looked at it, Charlie, before we played Cardiff. I looked at the teams from that stage last season and the bench that we had with Cooper, Shackleton. Who do we got in there, Dylan? There was a really poor bench. Kamara was on the bench that day. There was just no quality. Joseph hadn't even broken into the team. Hadn't even played that game against Chelsea. Yeah, with Gelhart's there as well. Like some really, really poor players when you look back. And at the time, we were definitely wearing the tinted Leeds glasses, thinking, we have a great squad. Looking back, we definitely did have enough quality to get out. We really did. And you probably think Fark probably did do miracles with that team when you look back on it now. But yeah, I agree with Dylan. We're more all rounded. And Fark does get a bit of shit for his 70-minute substitutions, lads, but we do have to give them the work. 9 times out of 10 they do work. When you look at the start of the season when it was Pirro coming on for Joseph, 9 times out of 10 Pirro was putting the ball in the back of the net. So it was working again. It worked last night. The 2 of them, the 2 substitutions he brings on, even Ramazani as well, he brings him on. He's kind of the pre-assist before that. So yeah, we kind of have to hold the hands up and say he's right as much as it frustrates us, and he needs to change it earlier. It works.
Go on, Charlie.
I was just going to say that he was getting quite a lot of grief at periods of that second half that the subs hadn't been made, and I tend to agree, albeit they did work in the end, thank God, but I still felt that those changes should have been made a good 10-15 minutes prior.
He never does it though, Charlie, doesn't he? That's what is the frustrating thing, isn't it? Because it's like when you see it hitting the 70th minute and in your own head as a fan, you're like, there's not much time left, but Fark kind of sees that as a lot of time for players to come on and make an impact. And look, it is, I agree with you, because it was the same as well yesterday. It was just bring them on, because I think it was crying out for a sub probably 10 minutes into the second half. You could see that they had the more intent as well, that first 5-10 minutes of the second half. They looked like the ones that were going to get a second, which really worried me. So you're probably thinking then, right, look, it's time to shake this up a little bit, and he didn't. He waited out till the 70th minute, and yeah, again, it just shows its fruits.
I think at times though as well, it's for me, Darren. We've spoke about it. Where's Plan B? If Plan A is not working, where's your backup? Don't get me wrong, I'm not being negative. That was Plan B and it worked. But when it, the likes of Burnley, thank God we don't have to play them. Hopefully never again.
Well, that's it. Like, we don't have to play any of the big ones around us now. That's it. Well, apart from after Sheffield United now on Monday, that's it. Then it's done. So you look at Leeds' run in, and it looks like the handier out the rest of them, doesn't it?
Don't say that.
All the way, like.
Don't jinx it.
It is, no, but on paper, Dylan, it is. Like on paper, it is. So I think it's massive on Monday. I think I've seen a lot of Leeds fans kind of say it's a must win. Look, it'd be nice to win it, but for me, it's probably more of a don't lose it, because I don't think a draw would be the worst. The worst result down there, like to come out of Bramble Lane. If you had said before the Sunderland game, look, you get 4 points out of the next 6, I think we all probably would have bit the hand off. So wouldn't be the worst result down there getting a draw. I'd love to win it. Don't get me wrong. You must not lose. I think that more so, Charlie, rather than
Boys, I am a little bit worried, which is unlike me, that we're playing Sheffield United so close after that Sunderland game. if you listen to anything I say, I'm usually saying we're going to slap their ass and send them to bed. However, because of this is going to sound a bit philosophical, a bit vegan, whatever, but it's going to be very hard for us to reach our emotional peak twice in a week. That is my only concern, because in the way we won that game, in the manner we won that game, would have been so high. And I always like to go back to things like tournament football or tournament sport. You look at when England beat New Zealand in the World Cup semi-final, they then couldn't reach that again to go and beat South Africa in the final. Do you know what I mean? So they might have think job's done here. I know Farke won't be letting that creep in or anything like that, but I think it's going to be quite difficult for us to reach that emotional and not physical peak, but the emotional peak. Boys, I don't know what you feel about that. Or am I just talking vegan bollocks?
No. I think you've got a point there, Isaac. But I think the fact that we've got a week now as well until we play, I think the next game
can calm down a bit.
We can calm down a bit. We can regroup. We can settle. We can work on certain things in training. We've not got another game in 3 or 4 days' time, what we've usually been doing for the majority of this season. So
I sort of wish we had though. I wish we had like fucking Preston away. No, we don't do very well against Preston. A Bristol City at home or something that we could just slot in on Tuesday to break this week up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'll probably touch on a little bit like what Mike says as well. What I look at is I'm probably happy that it is the week, Isaac, rather than if we were playing them, say, Friday night or, lunchtime Saturday. It's a very quick kind of, like what you say, an emotional kind of turnaround. Physically, to be ready for it, but the emotional side of football nowadays has a massive role to play in it as well. So I think them extra couple of days might just play in our favour. So they'll probably obviously be going into training today, recovery session, buzzing tomorrow to be back on a little bit. But I'm sure by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they should be well. Always on Sheffield United then. So that's probably the little nugget and the little carrot in this, that it isn't a weekend game, that it probably is the Monday just to get it out of our system,
Well, yeah, I think for me though as well, lads, it's definitely a must-win game, because it's not that I'm not worried about this one. Yeah, definitely, because it's them bottom half teams that kind of do us, and we've seen that last season when it came to Blackburn. And you've Preston there. I know we're home, but that's the type of game that Leeds are going to be under a bit of pressure, or QPR. They're the type of ones for me that I'll kind of say to myself, here, don't crumble it now. Expect it, as Darren said, on paper that we should be winning, and then all the hard work down the track. I'm just a Leeds fan. I think we're all familiar with a Leeds fan. I do be panicking on, like the way Isaac is now. I do be always kind of saying, I'm nervous or don't think we're going to do it. But going into this one, it's a must-win game, because I can't see Leeds not losing on the run for the rest of the season. I think we're going to lose probably one more, and I think we need to get Sheffield United out of the way, and then we can kind of take the foot off the gas to a certain degree if needs be.
But I think as well, Dilla. I think as well. Obviously, I think there's a certain element of we've got to back ourselves as well, haven't we? We are the standout team in the league this season. We have been definitely for the past 2 months. Look at Sheffield United, how they've played recently. Yeah, they've been winning games, but they've not been very impressive, have they? I think that a lot of the recent wins have been late wins. I think I watched that game against Portsmouth, where how they won that game, I'm not too sure, because Portsmouth were absolutely peppering him, I think, in that first half. I think it's Luton they played recently as well.
Big time Luton, the offside goal.
Yeah, the offside goal.
My weekend, Mikey, when you put that in the group chat that they scored, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I know. You both ignored me, didn't you, as well? When I'm like,
they've scored. I missed
absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to do it even more now. Now, if you fucking ignore me again. I think Sheffield United haven't been all that recently, and I think we've got to go there and play our game, and I think that'll be enough to beat them.
I agree. I think what it is, Mike, is because they're second. That's what as you said on paper, they're the kind of the main threat. I'm not really worried about them. I genuinely think whether we win or lose, as Charlie said, it's not the end of the world. I'm more worried about the likes of your QPR, Preston. That's my worry. Come last season, Darren, me and you watched it together, the Blackburn game. On paper, we should have won that game, but we crumbled. And I think that was for every Leeds fan standing on, I think it's going to be the playoffs for us. That kind of way. And that's where we need to sounds easy, and I don't mean it in this way. Like, it's probably the easiest thing to say. We need to keep winning. We do, but we need to be putting it up to the bottom half of the teams and just keep putting our pressure on.
At least it's not an international break coming up, guys. Anyway, to kind of disrupt.
Oh no, you go well with them, especially in mine.
Those international breaks do well, don't they?
Yeah, the Easter period is always great success for us. We've seen Bielsa fall on his arse there. Last year, the Welsh lads just decided they were going to chuck it in. So I can see us, like Fark said, lads, in the post-match last night, well, if we lose every game from here, we might make the playoffs. So I was like, damn, don't fucking say that. Don't say that.
Oh, God.
But look, what we've only lost 3 lads, which is it's mad when you think about it. Our goal difference is far superior as well. We have a 2-point cushion now. Look, I think we'd all say, look, we'd love to win it and go 5 points ahead of them. It would be unbelievable to kind of take points off them. And it's like what Dylan says, well, then it probably leaves a little bit of scope then, the remaining 12 games then, to maybe lose 1 or 2 then. And Sheffield United, you can't see them winning every game either. Like what Mike said, they've been poor, they have been scraping through. Your luck will run out eventually at one stage. So it is one of them, but like what Dylan saying, must win. I think, Charlie, you were saying that it's a must not lose. That's probably where I'm at the minute. I just don't want them taking 3 points off us, being level on games and being a point ahead of us. I think that kind of hands the initiative then, over to them, and then we're playing catch up then after that. So I even think a draw, I take it. I hate saying that because you want to win games, but I don't think it's the worst result. And then I'm confident we beat West Brom, Portsmouth. Hope we slap Millwall up at Elland Road as well, because we really owe them as well. So I'm not really worried. I know what Dylan says, the lesser teams that we're worried about. I'm not really that worried, lads, because this season Farkas seemed to kind of got rid of that tag. Won against Burnley, who is up there with us. So yeah, I'm not.
I think it's because come to the end there in the back of my head though. That's what it is.
But I'll go back, Dylan, to like what you said then. We're a lot more rounded this year. We're not relying on individual players. Look at Georgie after his hernia operation was nowhere near the player what we've seen before the international break. Dan James as well. He was very, very flat coming back. Joe Rodon was ropey as well at times. Nanto failed to hit them heights as well when he came back from the under-19s international duty as well. So, but I think we're a lot more all-rounded, Dylan, like that. If someone isn't on it, like what you say, we have them players, especially in the midfield. If someone's not on it, we have players to come on and do a job, the wings as well. So we're absolutely stacked. I'm not worried.
I think after the international break, then we can kind of, see where we're at. But for the minute, I wouldn't be kind of jumping to conclusions. Injuries, etc. But after this international break, as you said, last season with Rutter's hernia operation, and then I think, to be honest with you, every game after that for Leeds, we just simply weren't on it. And as I said, that's just a fear. That's always going to be a fear of mine, but it's much more positive this season. That's what I will say. And it's a bit more light at the end of the tunnel. I can see the finish line at a distance, but I can't see, if there's kind of things going to slip us up along the way. And hopefully the run continues and we absolutely slap the head off Sheffield United on next Monday.
Does anyone else feel like a lot more confident than what they did? Like Dylan touched on it there a little bit, than what we were at this stage last season. I think last year we were constantly kind of playing catch up, and it's always kind of saying you'd rather be, the chasers rather than the chased. I don't really agree with that. I'd rather be, the ones out in front. I'm a lot more confident this season than what it was last season. Last season was more kind of hoping you needed to kind of have that little bit of faith that things were going to go our way. It feels very much the ball is in our court now, doesn't it? I'm a lot more confident this season.
Yeah, mate, 100%. I think it might be because at some points we were like 14, 15 points off the top 2, and we somehow clawed it back around Christmas time and then fell on our ass again, mate. So I feel a lot more confident. Obviously, we're going to feel a lot more confident because we're top of the league now, but I don't want to seem negative, but if for whatever reason we did come away with nothing against Sheffield United, if we did lose,
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, mate. However, if it did, I still feel like we're going to win the league, lads. There'll be a point ahead of us on the same game.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
Where are we though? Where are we in the league?
We're top, mate.
Top now.
We're top of the league. We're top of the... Sorry, lads. Sorry. Buzzing. I can't help it. Sorry, when Isaac said that, that was the first thing that came into my head.
Let's spin that. If we go and beat Sheffield United 4-0 at Bramall Lane, can you imagine Chris Wilder's face, Charlie?
I think like a few of you have said, obviously, about the emotional side of it, having played last night and stuff. But if you need any motivation to go there and get 3 points, just look at Chris Wilder's face, and that'll be enough. I'm confident going into the Sheffield United game. I am, and it kind of scares me a little bit that I'm confident going into it. But something just, I can't put my finger on it, but something feels different this time. It
I'm the
feels
same, Charlie. That's what I'm coming from. That something just feels a little bit different. The togetherness as well around the club.
Yeah, and
It's not like, it's a little bit kind of like Bielsa, not at that level, because let's be honest, we were one big family under Bielsa.
Yeah,
but it just feels like it's getting there now. It feels like Fark is starting to get probably a little bit of love now as well, where he didn't really have that last season. Potentially started the season. It feels like there's a lot of people starting to kind of show him a bit of love now.
I feel like the whole squad makeup's just in a better place as well. Like you say, we've got very minimal injuries. It's only the usual like Pat Bamford shock and like Verber. You know, the rest of the squad is fine. And you know, if you've got Nonto, who obviously was on the bench last night and couldn't even get onto the pitch, that just shows you the state that the squad's in at the minute. And I think I said it earlier as well. I think the team and the squad in general, I think, is way better than last season, because, like you said, it was the Somerville show last season. It was the Georgie show. Whereas this season, we've got Dan James, we've got Solomon, we've got Perot, Tanaka, Rothwell. You know, there's players having the best season of their life. No, definitely not. I mean, I do actually.
You didn't get out, Dilo.
Touchy subject. That's a touchy subject.
I would like to talk about him at some point as well. But yeah, the whole squad at the minute just is in such a better place. So yeah.
I think also, just to add to that, it does, you know, it feels like totally different this season. It feels like we're going in a totally different direction. We're a lot more confident, but also I think the league is nowhere near as good as it was last season as well.
No.
When you look at last season, you had Leicester pulling wins out of their arse, last minute wins. Sorry, you had Ipswich doing that. Then you had Leicester being relentless. We've got no teams behind us that are relentless, winning every game. You look at Sheffield United, you look at them, they've got a loss in them. You've got Burnley, who, you know, most boring team to watch in Championship, just drawing games.
I will just say quickly, Mike, sorry. I actually think the only team we've got to worry about now is Sheffield United. I'm not even concerned about Burnley now.
They're gone.
No,
genuinely not.
No, and Sunderland are what, 10 points behind us?
So 10 points now,
I think
7
points behind us.
I think they could win playoffs though, Sunderland. I think they could win playoffs.
Me too.
If any team
John Charlie, I have a feeling that they could creep in. Yeah, look what Dylan said. I think Sunderland could creep in. I just Sheffield United, I'm not real confident. Look what Mike says. Your luck has to run out at some stage, doesn't it? They can't keep this going to the end of the season, nicking wins like that, last minute goals, offside goals, like.
Sunderland have got a very young squad though, which is why I think they could fall away a little bit now. Obviously, as Mike just said, they are 10 points behind us now. Is it 8 points behind Sheffield United? Then that'll make them. So it is quite a bit off now. But if they do end up in the playoffs, I think they'll have the best chance to play the best football by far out of them teams in the playoffs. So.
You know what's going to happen, don't you?
Yeah, Burnley. Yeah.
But Burnley will win it without scoring a goal and winning penalties in finals and final.
Exactly.
But I mean, can we just talk about the greatest championship signing in the history of the world, who might as well change his... He might. Well, I'm calling him Casper from now on because he might as well go.
That's how good was that one on Bogle? Bogle, the hips going one way, the ball going the other, and Lafie just sat down. It was just. I watched it about 20 times. Oh, it was unbelievable.
I mean, this talk of sending him for an hot dog, but it were a full-on stadium tour that he sent him on for that. Honest to God, he spun round. It were even better than Tanaka running rings round frigging Ince as well, wasn't it, a week before? But yeah. I think a lot of them Sunderland fans got way too excited with Enzo Lafie. Don't get me wrong, there's a player in there, but I think when they signed him, I think 90% of the fans have never watched him, and they were all basically saying he's the best signing that's ever happened in Championship since Ruben Neves, and you think, give over. He's good, but he's not that good.
We've got a Sunderland fan in the house, by the looks of things.
Okay.
Hi, Gary.
Gary.
Come back. You were relentless. We just couldn't cope. Totally run over. Our legs went. You are fucking correct, Gary.
Nail on the head.
Right again, Gary. Right again, son.
Couldn't agree more with you, pal. Couldn't agree more.
I think he might be a Leeds fan, Gary.
I was going to say, yeah, it's someone on a burner account, innit, pretending to be a Sunderland fan.
Dylan, where's your phone?
For what it's worth, Gary, thank you for that. And for what it's worth, I will say, we said it earlier on, I don't know if you were watching, Gary, I think Sunderland are probably the best team that we've seen at Elland Road. And I think if I'm rooting for anybody to go up through playoffs, it's them, because I think they deserve it. I think they've got they play the right way of football, and I think the fans deserve it as well. I think
if they don't go up this year, they'll definitely go up next year.
Oh, man, I think it's just because I think they're going to get stripped.
They'll get picked off. They'll get picked off if they don't go up.
Yeah, agreed. They'll get picked off. Yeah.
Well, I put my place, didn't I?
Yeah. See you later.
I think there's a lot of potential in Sunderland.
Yeah, but I think you probably get Joe Bellingham definitely moving on. Is it or he'd be snapped up as well? I think higher up in the Championship, if not in Europe, he'd be taken as well. You have a lot of good players there as well. I think Patrick Roberts probably the boy Mundle.
The fullbacks as well. I think some interest in them fullbacks. Sirkin and Hume, I think they're really good fullbacks. I think
we probably invest in a few of them when we go.
Yeah.
The only one I'd probably have taken would be Joe, because he's a high ceiling. Not anyone else for the Premier League, would you, lads? Wouldn't really look at anyone else.
Right, to be fair.
Really? Premier League?
I don't
know.
Yeah. I'm forgetting how good the Premier League is now. I've been watching this pish for 2 years, lads. So.
I won't be taking Casper Lefay anyway.
Casper Lefay can get his ass back to Roma.
Yeah. Did you see that clip of him at end of the game where he would just sat on his ass, just looking around?
So good.
That was sensational. On it to see.
We had a moment in that video. I uploaded it to Pornhub, lads. If I'll send you the link later on.
Nobody wants to see that, mate. Nobody wants.
What was it like? Bestiality. 10 black cats get fucked.
And put it on the feet in the loft, lads. Zach and your steering.
Oh yeah. There's an inside joke, lads, that Isaac basically keeps Daniel Farker in his loft in between games.
And Mikey, what is his preference of pornographic material?
Midget porn. He loves his midget porn, doesn't he?
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, he does.
That's the kind of stuff that is in there.
Loves it.
If you see a sign at Plymouth away, lads, that says Fark loves midget porn, come and say hello. It'll be me or Mikey.
Yeah. We're going to take that sign to darts, aren't we?
This is just went completely the other way. I love it.
Where the fuck do we go from that? But just to touch on a slight negative from the first half. Obviously, their goal. I mean, it is a good finish from Isidore. But
I'll take him as well, by the way.
Yeah, I would as well. But I mean, Darren and Purdue on that goal. It's not great, is it?
No, and it made me kind of have egg in my face, because I don't know if you boys seen it. Myself and Dylan had a bit of a Barney the week before, and we kind of had the Gruev and Purdue kind of situation. Who was the better player? I still think Purdue is the better player because he can play both positions. I don't think Gruev could play that position, but yeah, for the goal, Charlie, he's soft, and I don't think Struijk gets turned like that. I think Struijk is a lot more physical. He's stronger. He doesn't let himself get inside him there like that. But I can't really blame Fark too much, because it's very hard to change a winning side, isn't it? Like, there was a lot of kind of talk, does Struijk come back in for that game? I think him and Rodon being exceptional, 6 clean sheets when the two of them played together over the last 6 games. It's very, very hard to change, and I think if you do bring
it's all
Struijk
hindsight now, isn't it?
It's all hindsight, Charlie, isn't it? Exactly, but you look back now. But the only thing I do have to turn around and say now is that at least he came out on his post-match when he was doing the interview with Struijk, and he holds his hands up and he says, look, I made a mistake, I wasn't good enough for the goal, and my defending was poor. And I think that's more so the measure of the man, because he could shy away from that interview and just say, no, I don't really fancy it. He comes out and he holds his hand up and says, yeah, I was poor for the goal, and Pascal digs me over holding. That's what teams do, I know he's going to say, he's a captain, he shouldn't be doing that, but everyone makes mistakes, and he's been good since he's came back, lads. And I think back to them Stoke and Derby game back-to-back away over Christmas, he was a breath of fresh air, lads, because some of them away games we were watching Leeds play were horrendous. I was always fearing Leeds playing away. So, but yeah, he gets turned too easy for the goal there for me. But yeah, I wouldn't be kicking him out of the starting lineup or anything like that. There's still a player in Ampadu there.
I think for me though, lads, when it comes to Ampadu, and the conversation that me and Darren are having, and to a certain degree, it does get a bit heated. You know, like we've had a few box ups off camera, and the mother and all got involved over this. You know, so no, but I think with Ampadu though, it's like probably 2 or 3 every game his performance drops. You know, he slows the ball down an awful lot. Kind of irritates me a little bit. And then, you know, when he is trying to force it, you know, he's pulling off silly passes. But when he is on it, he's on it, and you know, it shows why. But for me last night, kind of just tipped me over the iceberg. That's not the sort of play I should be seeing from my captain, you could say, or our captain. And that was what was really winding me up. You know, I just feel like the ceiling is higher, and he can't be dropping off 110% every game. That's why the armband was given to you. Now, with that being said, going back to what Darren said, I was a lot more heated with them when I did see him, you know, putting his hands up, and he brought the players around at the halfway line and basically owned up for his wrongs. That's a man, and that shows a leader. So I give him his flowers when it comes to that. But apart from the goal, it wasn't good enough. But look, we nicked the win, we move on. But from now to the end of the season, number 101%.
I think we're all in agreement now that Pascal comes back in at centre back against Sheffield United.
That shit Jack on the bench.
Sexy pirate.
But then what happens in midfield then? Because I think we've had this conversation a few times, haven't we, Charlie and Isaac, on previous podcasts about where does Ampadu go? Does he go into midfield if he's not playing centre back? Because for me, I think Tanaka and Rothwell are more dynamic in that midfield. I think they're more of a threat. I think they complement each other a lot better than in terms of if you put Ampadu in there, because he does slow the game down a little bit. He's good from that defensive side. But I just want to know what your thoughts are, Darren Dylan, about would you play Ampadu in the next game?
I think you have to. Not that you have to, but I think you probably should. I think we seen when he went into midfield yesterday, he was a lot better when he did go into midfield. I do think that's his better position. He can play centre half, but I do think he's better in midfield. And I just think Fark loves him as well. I think regardless what any of us think or any Leeds fans think, I think
he said that.
we probably have to get into Fark's kind of way of thinking. You know, if we're gonna kind of love him a little bit and kind of open our arms up to him a little bit more, kind of get used to his 60-minute substitutions, his risk-averse football, his favourite players. I think because otherwise, if you don't, you just get frustrated with him. So I do think Struijk goes back into centre half. I think Ampadu comes back into midfield. But then it's anyone's pick then after that between it's Gruev, Tanaka or Rotwell. For me personally, it's probably going to be Tanaka then Rotwell. I don't think Ampadu and Gruev together. I think it's very, very defensive. I think we've seen at the start of the season, especially away at Cardiff. The two of them started together at Cardiff away. We scraped the 2-0 win. Pascal missed the penalty. They were down to 10 men. I was at the game that day, and the midfield, it was slow, it was drab, it was very, very defensive. Very much like the Phillips and Declan Rice under Southgate that time, when you knew there was players in there and kind of just let them off the shackles a bit, and they just weren't. So yeah, I think Ampadu has to come back in the midfield, and then after that, then it's a massive headache for Fark then who goes in there, isn't it? Because Rotwell comes on and makes an impact like that as well. So it's he staked the claim big time.
It's actually annoying for me because
go on, Mike, you may say again.
I said it's a good headache to have though, I guess, isn't it? Have that embarrassment of riches. I think it is harsh not to start Rothwell, but as you said, Darren, I think Fark's a massive fan of Ampadu, and I think he said he's one of the most important players, and he'll start every game under Fark. So yeah,
he'll always find a way to get him in. Always.
But look, it'd be 10 changes against Millwall. Lads, Ampadu is the only one that starts. Do you know what I mean? So I was kind of looking at that. Maybe it was probably a game. Just if you're gonna make 10 changes, just make the 11th. Do you know, like just put the boy in for Ampadu as well. Like don't have him playing that game either. So. Yeah, he loves Ampadu with the best, doesn't he? So I think Ampadu goes in there.
From last night, Gruev was very disappointed. I think his overall play, you know, he broke the play up well. He done his kind of defensive way, but you know, set pieces were absolutely dirt. You know, I think my grandmother would do a better job. You know, and she's in a wheelchair. You know, like, it's the truth. Like, but
it's just a flat tire.
I genuinely think though, for me, Gruev should start away from home. But
that's brilliant.
Now there's that headache with Struijk after coming back. Ampadu's clearly going to start. You put Gruev in there and turn the telly off. He then too cannot play.
You know it's going to be.
It's actually very annoying, and I'm getting a bit heated over because I feel like that's going to happen. No, I am because you know.
Join the club, pal. Join the club.
I think that, Darren, me and you did say it as well. When Gruev and Ampadu did, we were spoiled, lads. Everyone was worrying about this midfield, situation. And Rotwell and Tanaka came in, and my God, have they done some serious work to show.
I think it's overlooked though, lads, and it's probably something that we do have to remind ourselves. And I try and check myself a little bit as well. When Ampadu and Gruev got injured, lads, I think we were all fearing.
It was great.
We were all fearing, kind of saying, look, what our season is going to be upended here. But massive credit have to go to Rotwell and Tanaka, because I don't think even the most optimistic Leeds fan could have never called how well the two of them did coming into that midfield and how well they carried it for that long as well. So it's just like what Mike said, it's pure embarrassment of riches, but it's a good headache to have. Massive.
Even last season though, lads, even with Kamara, like, to be fair, he never had a shot outside the box. Rotwell and Tanaka aren't afraid to have a shot.
Yeah, not afraid.
I think that's what we all can agree. The defence is like a brick wall, whether it's Ampadu and Rodon or Rodon and Struijk. But that midfield, if it's Tanaka or Rotwell, you're kind of saying, have a pop, have a go. And they're always trying to create something. Now, preferably, if it was, look, it's definitely going to be Ampadu. I think Tanaka would be the one to slot in there. But then, as I said, having that for Rotwell to come on like what he did last night, we're all kind of buzzing. Like, it's good to still have that kind of,
the boy in him
backup.
Want to make it, yeah.
So, look, to be honest, I don't mind who he starts, whether it's Tanaka or Rotwell. It's clearly going to be Ampadu. Just do not put Gruev in there.
Yeah, we agree.
Definitely not.
Yeah, we agree.
Someone's speaking my language.
Finally. Cheers, lads, but the playoffs are a conundrum. Don't we fucking know it, Gary?
Preaching to the choir here, bud.
Oh, great show. What's that emoji? Like a laughing fish? Thank you for the laughing.
It looks like me choking on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Same colour.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I agree. For me, I don't know. It'd be a sort of weird situation that we're arguing to get Rothwell and Struijk back in the team after what they did yesterday. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. Would there be a shout to maybe pull Brendan and put Rothwell in the 10? Not that he's going to do that by any stretch of the imagination.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, Isaac. I would. I really would. I feel
it's not going to happen, though, is it? It's not going to happen, though.
I feel so bad on Brendan Aronson.
I think he might
It
start.
was poor last night, Aronson.
He was poor last night.
He was.
He was. Yeah.
Ratty, we described him as, didn't we, Mikey?
When feed the rat, we call him, don't we? Feed the rat and he will score. But I think Fark's just a big fan of him as well, to be honest. Just his work off the ball, his energy he brings to the game, his pressing. I've got a feeling that he's pressing. I've got a feeling that he's one of Fark's favourite players as well, because if you look at the minutes played, I don't think there's many that have played more minutes than Brendan Aronson. Another frustrating night for him, I think, last night. For me, he sometimes gets a little bit in his own head, don't know when to give the ball, sometimes don't know when to hold on to it, mixes the two together. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for him, to be fair, and you just cannot fault that energy that he gives to the game, in the game. But yeah, I think sometimes you need better, don't you?
That much of a soft spot, Mikey. You're the one that coined that phrase, feed the rat.
It's a term of endearment, boys. If I call it right, it means I love you.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've got him an appointment somewhere in Switzerland. He's going there soon.
He's too busy doing a podcast.
He's the only trampolines anyway.
Gary, how do you feel about investing in a start-up pet care company, mate?
Don't get started on that.
No?
We're sending Patrick Bamford to a different kind of pod, aren't we? One of them Dignitas pods. Put him out of his misery. Bless him. I mean, do we think he's going to come back this season? Do we reckon he's going to?
Not.
No.
Probably in a coffin.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want now. With how well it's going, you don't want to be relying on him, do you? Yeah, you don't want to be relying on him.
Oh,
look at Gary.
Simple question, Gary.
Yeah, Gary, are you going to invest or what?
Yeah.
I think Gary might have just unsubscribed.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I think though, for me, when it comes to Bamford, I wanted the happy ending with him. In the sense.
You want a happy ending with Bamford?
Yeah, I knew someone was going to say something like that. I knew it was coming.
To be fair, I bet he gives you a good happy ending, Bamford.
Nah, like he's kind of the last, apart from Struijk, of the BL's era. We've had the good times with him, but he's it's kind of irritating, that he just can't kind of get himself into some sort of emotion, because I feel like, you like say Stuart Dallas, Alioski, Luke Aylan, the list can go on. We can all, as a unit, turn around and say, what a player and best wishes in the future. I think with Bamford, it's kind of like you should have went probably 2 seasons ago, lad. You're still here. You're just,
is it only Bamford and Melier left now from the
Pascal.
Struijk.
And Struijk as well, yeah.
I actually didn't even think of Melier, to be honest with you. But he's like that. Did you ever see Toy Story with the penguin that's up on the shelf? Just dusty. That's
Wheezy,
Wheezy, that's the one. Yeah, Wheezy. That's Bamford.
Wheezy Bamford.
Fark will take him down, right? And he just, he's mush. Get rid of him.
Been a lot of weird references in the show tonight. I'm here for it.
Why are you not used to it by now, mate? This is just part of the course.
I'm good.
I tell you, what a film, though. What a film Toy Story is. What a movie.
What's your favourite?
I agree.
It's a good one, isn't it? Oh, 2. I love 2.
Yeah, 2's the best.
2 is the best one.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
I think with Zerg coming into it, was just...
Zerg's a bad dude, man. I reckon.
Yeah,
try and get him up front next season, I reckon, if he's available.
Anyway.
I reckon Slinky do a good job in there.
Yeah, Gary's with you.
There you go.
Let us know in the comments, guys.
So, Gary, do you want to invest in what's the story? That's what we need to know.
Gary, we're talking about Slinky the dog, mate, so that tells me you're interested.
Yeah.
And the side of form.
I'm getting stepbrother vibes. Are you going to invest or what?
Lots and hoes.
Did you touch my drum set?
Love that film. That is one of my favourite films. Talking about film.
It's a great film.
Well, gentlemen, I would like to pose a question to both of you, Dylan and Dan. Dylan and Darren, mate. So, me, Charlie, and Mikey have this conversation quite frequently. The players that we've got on loan now, so Joe Rothwell and Mano Solomon, when we are promoted, I say when, not if. Are you trying to manoeuvre deals for both of them to be permanent Leeds players in the Premier League next season?
It's a good question, though.
And if so, how much are you paying?
Yeah.
This is it. We had the same conversation on our pod as well with a guy, Michael, that follows. He's been following us from the start, and he asked the same question, more so down to Solomon. Do we sign Solomon like this? And I do think if you keep Solomon fit, he's definitely a good player. There's a reason Spurs signed him, so there definitely is a player in there. It's obviously the big question mark, whether he can stay injury free. The issue with this one is Daniel Levy, lads, and we've seen it before. So
yeah, greedy bastard.
If he's after telling Leeds, Solomon's going to be 15 million at the end of the season. If he can continue in the vein of form that he has been in, scoring goals and assisting, damn right well, as soon as Leeds go to ask the question, he's probably going to say something ridiculous like 25, 30 million. So I think Levy probably give an unrealistic price tag, Isaac, to be honest with you. And then I think Leeds will probably look in another direction, kind of saying, well, look, we'll kind of go elsewhere and try and get, someone that's more reliable, similar quality, that we can turn games and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really, really good question to ask, Isaac, because I do think there's a player in it. I would like him permanently at Leeds, but it's Daniel Levy, I think, that stands in the way of that. I don't think Leeds will bow down to that. We know. I
think Fark will get the midgets after him.
Yeah, Fark will get his mid. You don't want that problem. Mate, we'll probably sell him to Naka for 40 million and then get him for 10 million like we did Joe Roden. So
could he? Yeah, be something kind of deal like that.
You know what would happen though, boys, don't you? As soon as if we do buy Solomon, he does his ACL in fourth game.
ACL, mate.
Yeah.
That's my fear, Mike. Yeah, that's my fear. He's done really well. Look, we know he had the back injury at the start, but he's done well apart from that. It was a little bit of a hairy moment last night when he was kind of holding the ankle. I was like, don't tell me, this is it. No, probably Solomon ligaments gone for the season. And very similar to the Ramazani one, wasn't it? Against Watford, it looked like there wasn't much in it, and he was gone for a while. So with the fear of God, but thank God he's all right. And then going back to Rothwell, I actually don't think he'd be a bad option in the Premier League, to be honest with you, lads. I think there's a bit of a shout there. Good squad player. I do think we definitely need to upgrade that midfield 100%. We need someone of better quality in there as well, definitely. But not a bad squad player at all, Isaac. I'd be looking at that. If we could kind of get it done cheap and the money is right. And 10.
8 to 10.
7.5, I think 7.5.
Around 7.5. Yeah.
It's like 5.
Is he 30 years old?
30
Yeah.
minutes.
Out there, yeah.
30, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say 5, lads. I feel like
Yeah.
a cheap,
Yeah, I'm always
cheap
really
scale
low on
there.
that.
It's a lot of
I
money to
haven't
throw
mind it.
around, though, isn't it? 10 million on a squad.
I just,
player, like,
I just feel like we haven't, you know, got anyone in January, and you know, we go up and it's great. I'm not, you know, doubting Solomon or Rotwell, but I feel like maybe there's something we could do with the earnings as opposed to relying on, you know, Solomon, which a fantastic player by the way, but just the injuries are kind of throwing me off. And then Rotwell, yeah, I would, but for the right money as well. But I would with Solomon as well. But as Darren said, it'd be down to Daniel.
I'd have Rothwell for set pieces alone.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's my thinking, Charlie. Yeah, because in the Premier League, they're even more crucial than in the Championship, aren't they? So yeah, you need someone decent
we
set
go
piece
up-
delivery.
If we go up and we're kind of like, all right, clearly you didn't invest in January at work. We didn't need anyone. We got across the line. But not being smart, if they buy Solomon and Rotwell and not anyone else, are kind of saying, well,
It needs
what
a
was
good
what was the
upgrade,
point
though,
in
lads,
that?
doesn't it?
It
whole
does, and
spine,
the whole
Major
spine.
surgery, mate.
We'll need a
Left
lot of
back.
players. A lot of
We
players.
need a
to
lot of
go.
players.
Just sign
I think
everyone.
the
When we
whole
go.
spine. You definitely need a keeper.
Forest, do a Forest, sign every cunt go in.
Bleak.
That's it. Yeah, I'd take the points deduction happily, wouldn't you? If it puts you in a position where
Oh,
Forest
that's
are.
the challenge.
I think that's what we need to do. Spend a shitload of money and just fuck the rules off.
Sign me.
Yeah.
I'll do a job for you.
Yeah, Dillo centre half.
ACL gone.
Only Leeds Bros. Causing havoc.
ACL
Low
gone.
cost Navi.
We've not even spoke about Pascal's goals yet, lads, and the reaction at the end. I mean, like, I think we've had Dillos spilling water everywhere. We've seen their
I
reactions.
spilled something everywhere.
Mike-
It was fucking water.
Mike's woke his kids up. I was obviously at the game. Isaac, I want your honest reaction of when that winner went in. What did you do?
Well, I was actually organising the pod, mate, because some of us are full time with this. So I was texting
Bit of salt and pepper there for you, Charlie. Just a little bit.
So
I can say that. I missed the pod when I went to the cinema. There we go. But no, I was texting Mikey, and it so happened that my stepdad suddenly had it sooner than me, but I had it before Mikey. So there was like a 3 fucking thing. So my stepdad texted me saying yes, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then I looked up and we scored, and I was recording a voice note to Mikey, so it was just me going, "Mikey, if you got it, you can play it if you want, mate. Have you got it there?"
got it. Yeah. Bearing in mind, I would have.
Mate, it'll give you
Bearing
a
in
run.
mind, I were quite.
Was this in the group chat or was it just private?
No, because I was just sending Mikey the link for the pod.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear it. And obviously,
Your voice sounded a lot different there.
I were about 10 seconds behind that as well with the goal, so I thought fucking brilliant was scored. So I didn't really get to feel it. In
Me and
real
Dylan
time,
definitely.
so-
I did.
Me and Dylan were saying that 0-0. We were like, we're not even going to get a draw. All this, like, we were saying 4th loss of the season. Like, we were just like, where do we go from here now? Massive game next week at Bramble Lane. We were already like accepting the loss. Like, just to go from a verge of defeat to winning it.
We've all heard how my
brilliant.
voice went. So
I did the equaliser. That's when I choked on the water, and then the second one, I think Darren was. The two of us were kind of in sync, but I was looking at it, and then I kind of looked at the computer, and it was Darren's face initially. And then I jumped up, he jumped up. I wellied my knee off the desk, fell onto the bed, broke
is there
myself
ever a
up.
delay? Like when you're doing the watch-alongs, is there ever like a delay of when Leeds score?
Yesterday's one
Perfect.
was fine, because we
Was it,
definitely
yeah?
don't watch it on any dodgy streams or anything like that. But the Watford one, there was about
visual video, we call it.
There was
Visual
about 3
radio.
seconds,
Radio.
visual radio we were watching it on, and there was about 3 or 4 seconds in the one the week before. So I kept ruining every one of Dylan's celebration. So
I was just sitting there just like-
goal, and Dylan's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a goal, is it? Oh yeah.
But
it's always better when it's on Sky. It's good, but yeah, and that's,
I think after Rothwell came on as well, I think we only took 2 set pieces and we scored from both of them. So it just shows the accuracy of his set pieces. It's
yeah.
I can't believe Sunderland didn't have one set piece.
Didn't have one corner, did they? No.
They didn't have one corner throughout the game. That was such a weird start. I thought Yeah, it's
When
very
you
rare
said
that
it
you
last
see
night,
it.
Mike, obviously I was obviously I was checking it out earlier,
Checking
and
it out. Yeah.
as soon as
Betting
you
it
said
in.
it, as soon as you said it, I was thinking, did they have it? And I was like, oh no, they didn't. They didn't have one corner, did they?
That's mad. Yeah, I
No.
didn't
Mad,
even realise that.
mental.
We had 10, if you're interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's mad.
The only other chance they had was the double save from Melia as well, which I think they have
Right,
to speak about
first
Melia
minute.
a little bit, don't we?
First
100%
minute,
of it. Brilliant for save, and then the follow up from Roberts does really well. And I think that was a Melia one for Melia. Yes, you could obviously see cupping his ear to the Sunderland fan. It was brilliant to see,
It
lads.
was great.
That was
Absolutely
brilliant.
quality.
That was the only bit of celebration that I could see with all the people around me.
He
I
was
just
getting
saw him
shit the whole
sliding
match,
from
Charlie,
the-
was he? They were giving us one the
Yeah,
whole
well.
game, ready? Yeah.
Yeah.
Delighted from.
So,
Love it.
love it.
And
Love that.
lads, I'd like to highlight Leeds United admin for their usual shithousery. They obviously had it on the bookmarks. So
Yeah.
obviously Winnieland made that howler away
Seen
at the
this.
Stadium of Light. The Sunderland admin said, not really sure what to caption this. And then, what do you know? After yesterday, Leeds United admin comes on and says, not really sure. Fucking
Did you
dead.
see?
Oh, Lord.
Did you see the TikTok that they put up of when Bogle just put Liffey on his ass?
Yeah,
And
man.
there's
Yeah.
the music that they had in
It's
the background.
so
It's so good,
So
isn't it?
good.
Did anyone see
They never
Rothwell?
miss a trick. Do they?
Did anyone see Roden like punching the ground after we scored? I was like, I
No,
love
I
you.
haven't seen that.
No,
I've not seen
I
it.
seen him lying on the ground. Seen him, he was on his
lying
back
on the
as well.
ground punching. And then he walked like the Joker in the Dark Knight to the fans like this and just went, come on! I was like,
And like Mike said earlier as well, I think the best slide we saw were from Bogle. How did
He's
he
still
do it on
going.
his back?
He's still going, Charlie.
Fark slide was the
Man.
best.
So
Nah,
Moy said
Bogle-
every inch of
Bogle's
his
were the
body
best.
was on the ground. Every
He
inch
will
of his
lower
body was
down than
touching
your
the ground.
bollocks, Charlie, when they dropped when they scored. Honest to God, yeah. He's like, there were not one
Yeah,
bit of his
fair.
body that won't touch it floor. He was just flat on his back, just sliding across pitch. Loved it. I think that goes down as one of my favourite ever celebrations that I've seen.
It was
It's
class,
just
yeah, very
the
good.
physics of it and the how it defied gravity, not one person. Loved it.
Obviously, I don't know how
Ramazani going up to their captain as well and just giving
that
him
was lovely.
a bit as well.
Yeah, the end was
that.
lovely, wasn't it? Yeah.
See what he
I
put
mean,
on?
Dan Neil was pure froth and it was unbelievable.
He
And
said
Struijk
our
just
land.
smiling.
He put it on Twitter saying, this is our land. I was like, all right, mate. Like, if you had
All right, man, chill out.
If you had the Fark slide, I'll try and show it on here. But I was thinking a booking's very harsh, and then I saw this, and I was like, no, I can see why you got a booking done. So
Let's have a look.
Hey!
Hey, love it.
It's like a slide tackle, isn't it?
But what's wrong with celebrating a last minute goal? I mean, we've seen over years, we've seen Jurgen Klopp running about pitch, gurning his face off when Liverpool score. Yeah, I like that running through, outside.
Remember the time he pulled his hammer? Remember?
Mourinho down the touchline as well for Porto.
Yeah.
I think it was Porto as well against Scum. Like, so,
Yeah.
It was a Klopp though that pulled his hamstring when he was running.
pulled the
Yeah,
hamstring.
Klopp,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he was running to the 40 official or something, wasn't he? And pulled his hammer. Yeah, that'd be me running to the fridge, pulling my hamstring.
That's me now.
Well,
Not even me.
I think
I think oh, go on.
Go on, Charlie. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say that the Square Ball said this as well, which I agree with. There was that many different celebrations going on when that winner went in. It was hard to keep track of what was going on.
Yeah.
Like there was that many different things happening, and it were just unbelievable. I can't wait for that. Is it that uncut that they release after every game? I
The
can't wait for
uncuts,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
the
mate.
quality,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't wait for propaganda me during whenever the square ball.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Like
And meltdowns. What about meltdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meltdowns.
Usually it's hard to get 3 people on meltdowns at the same time. I don't think we've run a meltdowns altogether, have we yet?
Yeah, we've done one.
We have.
We've done one.
Did first one.
We'll have to get the bros on a meltdown one day because that'll be sensational.
Yeah.
I've already been doing. I've found plenty of stuff on social media for meltdowns, boys. Anyway,
I've got plenty.
And it's just all Sunderland fans absolutely losing their head. Yeah.
So, listeners, Only Leeds Bros, if you don't know, once a week, me and the lads, we find your hot takes, your shit tweets. We delve Twitter deeply, whether that be on TikTok or Instagram, and then we basically take the piss out of you for half an hour, 45 minutes, and ridicule what you said. So, if you're a Sunderland fan, and you watch it, If you tweet anything weird, mate, get deleting because we are coming for you.
I'm going to put up a load of weird tweets out today. Just going to put up a
This
random
week's
thing.
going to be
Sunderland
very
should have won that.
Sunderland heavy. This is going to be very Sunderland heavy this week, I reckon. But yeah.
And I'm not.
Sunderland heavy. Should we talk about the waistline of their goalkeeper? Fuck me, he's a big fella, isn't he?
I didn't realise how big he was until last night.
Yeah.
I didn't realise until last night how.
Is he a big boy? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Mate,
big boy.
Mike said he's been on too many peas pudding, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah, that's a local delicacy in it in the North East is peas pudding. But talking about bulging waistlines, I think Paveda's looked like he put on a few pounds as well. I think when he came on,
as well.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that he existed until he came on.
And Leo Helder was on the bench for them as well.
Oh,
That was a throwback to Bielsa.
Throwback to the start of last season, mate, when we had no players at Birmingham away.
Leo Helder, left back.
When he put out the under-12s.
Shackleton, right wing.
This might be
left wing.
This might be a tough question, but if you had to give the man of the match to someone, who would you give it to? Now, I've seen that the club have given it to Pascal, which, fair enough. No, it's definitely not him. But if you had to pick someone genuinely, who do you think was Leeds' best player?
Bogle for me.
Yeah.
Rothwell for me, boys.
I think Rotwell. I think Bogle's up there, but I think Rotwell just because Struijk doesn't get the headers and Rotwell doesn't put the ball on the box.
Yeah.
Joe, I know Struijk scores the headers, he gets the plaudits, he scores the goals. The ball doesn't get there if it wasn't for the quality of Joe Rotwell for me. So
I'd say Bogle for me.
Yeah, I think Bogle, like for the whole, not like you could say until Rotwell.
He's been outstanding, lads, hasn't he? Been very good.
Ridiculous, mate. Since the turn of the year. I mean,
the best right back in the league.
8 out of 10.
I don't know what you boys were thinking when we first signed him, like when we saw him the first few games, we were quite critical. And then
we were.
Since the turn of the year, we've just been like, all about him, boys.
Darren loves the story. I'll throw this out. The start of the season, we went to, obviously, Portsmouth, first game of the season, and me and Darren were buzzing, saying, Fairbow left back, Bogle right back. It's like Cafu and Roberto Carlos. We were loving it. At one stage, two boys swapped. Me and Darren looking at, Darren nudged me and going, is this like a magic from Fark? What's going on here? Just complete shit. It just turned out bad. Completely.
Fairbow was just over on top of Bogle. Bogle was playing like centre half at one stage. I was like, what is going on here?
But then,
last night, Burpo played false 9 at one point last night.
Fairbow just does what he wants. He's just a loose cannon.
At one stage in that game, I think it was the one, remember when Aronson scored, but he missed.
Me
and Darren were standing right beside, I say this on every pod because I think it was the funniest thing ever, standing right beside the railings, and he booted the railings, and the steward that was
blue railings in the cup,
that was standing beside us, I thought she was like gonna get tick. I just looked at Darren as if to say, you stupid bastard.
My foot was bruised for days after that.
After Aaron's
just because he was in, do you know what I mean? And it was like at the initial moment, there was like so many thoughts going through my head in like a split second, less than a split second, that he's probably ruined a brilliant moment at Elland Road. Do you know what I mean? He's thinking like, how did he not score that? Like,
it was harder to miss, wasn't it, that chance?
It was harder to
miss. The noise of it though, Mike. That's what it was.
The railings were just
was rattling. Like everyone beside us looking at Darren's like.
I didn't even feel it until by the time we got the Bremner statue down, I was like limping a little bit. I was like, I think my foot's broke, Dylan. It was just like a balloon. It's like not the smartest thing to do.
I'll tell you one thing, it was definitely a better streak than Aronson there. Serious streak.
If I was catching that on the volley, it was top corner. I caught that sweet.
Yeah, but Mike, which game did you take your son to for his first ever game again, mate?
Oh, we were all there, mate. The Borough game, wasn't it?
Yeah. It were better when we lost 3-0 in Cup, wasn't it? His first ever Leeds game. I know. I said to Isaac and Charlie, I think I've said this a few times, I came home and I was that close to ringing Childline on myself. I really was, just to say I've fucked up here. But there's an element of that, ain't there? When we lost, there's an element of just saying to him, get used to it, kid. You're a Leeds fan now. If you it's disappointment, so get used to it from a young age. But yeah, I sent a picture to you guys and they were blessing me, were so upset, we're crying and all sorts. I felt sort of bad.
Mine was similar. My first one was Sheffield United. Everything was. Sorry, was that? Go ahead.
Instead of comforting him, Mikey just put it in the group chat of him crying. Bless him, did you, Mike?
At least you're setting up for disappointment. Do you know what I mean? At least he'd be used to a world of disappointment. Do you know what I mean? My first one was Sheffield United. It was 2005, the year after we got relegated, and we were playing Sheffield United at Elland Road when we got bet 4-0. Kevin Blackwell was in charge at the time. It was around that time, a ridiculous season when it obviously came out at the time, but I remember Aaron Lennon was our best player. And I always just remember the whole of Elland Road chanting Aaron Lennon's name, and he just wouldn't put him on, and eventually puts him on in the 70th minute when we're like 4-0 down. I think Paul Butler was playing that day as well, just had an horrendous team. I think the only decent player that was there that day, we still had Gary Kelly down, but my God, lads, and I walked out that ground. My dad just put his hands around me, he's like, you don't have to support him if you don't want to, and I just loved that, lads. I didn't care, we could have got walloped 10-0, I just loved it, so.
It just grabbed you right from the beginning, doesn't it? Once you walk up
set you up for disappointment straight away,
I didn't have a choice. Darren broke my arm.
No. I did. Well, my dad gave me a sort of a weird choice. He went, well, you can support whatever club you want. However, I won't put a penny into that club unless you support Leeds, and I'll never buy you another team shirt. So I was like,
the way to do it.
Kind of guilt tripped you then. Kind of guilt tripped you into it.
And weird, like, I was going to call it like Munchausen type thing, but whenever we saw a Man United fan out and about, if I said scum, I used to get a sweet. I'm surprised I'm not diabetic, lads, because there's fucking loads of them around here.
Darren's young lad is doing that as well now. To be fair.
He's only 3, but we were sitting at a meal in Spain just after myself and Amy got married, so it's about 20 of us at a meal. We're sitting outside, nice warm day, everyone's going to having the buzz, having a couple of beers, and of course, Irish were sitting outside an Irish restaurant, so he was wearing a scum training top. And my little lad is sitting there, and he walks out and he's serving the table. He's like, anyone else for drinks? And the little lad just points as loud as can be and just goes, scum! in front of the whole family. Now, bearing in mind, Amy's Amy's dad and brother are both scum fans, so they were completely disappointed. But it was probably the first proud dad moment I ever had in my life. I just absolutely loved it. Like, your man's face just dropped. He didn't know what to say. Like, a 3-year-old just abused me. Like, I don't know what to say back. Like, quality.
It was brilliant. I had a great time in it. I gave him loads of sweets throughout the night.
My son's exactly the same. He literally refuses to entertain anything red. If he sees anybody wearing red, he's like, get that away from me. But he's exactly the same. The thought of Man United absolutely disgusts him, and it makes me the proudest dad in the world.
Yeah, you love it, don't you? Absolutely.
Whilst we're on the scum subject, lads, has anyone seen that horrendous rumour on Twitter that if we're promoted, we're going after Rasmus Højlund? Has anyone else seen that?
40 million. I saw it today. Yeah.
Million. No, thank you.
No,
Get in the bin. Get in the bin.
No, not for us.
The last one we signed from them turned out to be all right.
Dan James,
if Scum were relegated and they were stripped, would you take any players?
Thanks, Amy.
Diallo.
I don't even think I'd take him.
I'd take Diallo.
I think that Kobe Mainoo's going to be a good player. I think I'd take him.
And I'd say that Onana.
Be great if you got relegated, wouldn't it?
Like,
great, wouldn't it?
God, what are they now? 15th. It's amazing. 15 it's so good to see.
I think it was 11. I think I counted it the other day. A mate of mine. I think 11 off the drop.
I think they're 11 off the drop. Yeah.
On top sport, they only had them winning one game of their remaining fucking 11 as well. So they're like,
I think so. I think so. Hampton are definitely gone. So was it Ipswich and who's the other?
Leicester. I think it'll be every team that got promoted. I think they'll go straight back down. I think it's that's the gulf at the moment, isn't it? And that's probably some of the
jokes on them, huh?
Yeah,
jokes on them.
Who's falling apart now, you bastards?
But while we're on changing leagues and that, lads, I know we might have been at the top of the show or briefly off air. That on TalkSport today, there was a whole Leeds United segment, and I know we're trying not to get carried away, but the headline was Leeds United edge closer to Premier League return. And I was like, fucking hell, is it that close? And then Jim White and Simon Jordan were saying if there's any club that is going to stay in the Premier League after they get promotion, it is Leeds United. And I was like, trying not to touch myself because I was at work, and then I was a bit late. But yeah, lads, I'd just like to get your thoughts on that. Do you think with the backing of the 49ers, we're going to invest heavily? Can you see us doing something like Bournemouth and Forest have maybe done and signing a lot of... Well, but I don't know. I've not kept that much up to date with Bournemouth's transfer activity, but they seem to seem to recruit quite well, as the like Brighton.
Very well.
Thoughts on them?
Yeah, I think we're used to the 49ers now, lads. They're more shrewd businessmen, aren't they? I can't see them doing a Forest where they just go and they just throw the check at it. I think it'd be a lot more measured and checked, and especially if Daniel Farke, is going to be there as well. I can't see us. He likes working with a small squad as it is anyway, so I can't see us throwing the bucket and having 50 players like the way Forest did. I think it'd be a couple of shrewd signings as well. Me and Dylan touched on it as well midway through the season, that it does need major surgery when we go up. I do think we need an upgrade in the goalkeeper, probably another dominant centre half in there as well. Let's be real, because we do know Struik's record as well, a decent left back. I think you need someone in midfield, definitely a 10, and then probably a clinical striker, which is very hard to get. And then you probably need another standout winger. Yeah, I think like these four are brilliant in the Championship, don't get me wrong, and it sounds mad to say, but you probably need someone with just another little bit of quality, another little level up in the Premier League as well. So it does need massive surgery. But yeah, to answer your question, Isaac, I can't see us throwing the bucket. I wouldn't want us to throw the bucket anyway, and be spending millions on a lot of flop players. I'd rather be a lot more measured and see how we go then. But yeah, I do think we could have the opportunity to help. The only thing that grates me a little bit, I would have loved if we had went up with Bielsa and the 49ers. And Bielsa was actually back. That would have been just so good. But
I think it's no reason that we shouldn't, highly invest, especially from what Radrizzani had us at to what now the 49ers do. And to be honest with you, look, Radrizzani put his hand in his pocket, but there was one man that got us to where we were, and we got the trailer of 3 years, and was it 3 years, yeah? Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, he went down the third year.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think there for a second. And Bielsa really done that, apart from, because like Darren can vouch for me in this. Like, I was born in '98, and I was very young when Leeds were. So I've in the Premier League, I've only ever known Leeds to be in the Championship or League One. So
League One, you say? No, League One. Okay.
So I've only ever seen that. I've never seen. So when we got that, taste, I was loving it, and it was all down to one man. But this time it seems to be a global enterprise, and that's the way that they're moving. So I can see nothing but good things coming for Leeds, and I have to agree with like what Isaac's saying there about the talk sports. Like, I think Leeds are going to be the sort of club now to, be the likes of Brighton or, flying around mid-table and hopefully invest and push for Europe. That's I think that's where the aim is.
Mm.
Do you guys see? Do you see more investment from Red Bull if we go up? Do you see? Do you think you see an increase in a stake there? Do you think a more injection of cash for us to spend on players? Do you see us maybe tapping into their scouting network, boys? What, Darren and Dillo? What's your thoughts on Red Bull? Do you think it's just a shirt sponsor, or do you think there's something behind it?
I think there's more in it, Mike, to be honest with you. Look at the end of the day, we can only go off Prague's word at the minute until we see otherwise. He obviously said that the future of Leeds United is always going to be, it's never going to be Red Bull Road, it's never going to be Red Bull Leeds or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. All we have to do is go by that until we're kind of shown otherwise, or there's any kind of hint of otherwise. But going into the market, I do think it is a market where Leeds do have to tap into, especially with Klopp being there now as well, the head of Red Bull as well. Like, look, we've seen some really, really good players come out of Red Bull. Just touch on one, Haaland as well. Like, so there is players in there that Leeds can definitely tap into as well. So we should be using that market a little bit more as well. So, but yeah, I think we will. I think when we go up, and be more of an investment from Red Bull as well. Why wouldn't it be in the Premier League as well? They're going to want Red Bull slapped everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, they're definitely going to invest highly, 110%. Like, at the end of the day, you can look you can look at the way all these celebrities.
God, I hope not.
All the celebrities that have invested, like Will Ferrell, Paris Hilton, which is crazy, at one stage I seen Vanilla Ice singing a Dan James song, cringy, like, me and Darren were kind of getting to the vibe. But why can't people hate us? Why all of a sudden people start to like us? I'd rather be hated, that kind of way. Yeah. But the amount of people that have invested into it, Red Bull, look, it's going in the right direction. As Darren said, Prague, he's just giving us his word at the minute. But I don't trust any owners, regardless how well, if they win us a Premier League, I don't trust anyone, because at the end of the day, the way football has gone is all money, money, money. They've no loyalty for fans to a certain degree. But look, the club's going in the right direction. and that's all. That's what I'm happy with.
Yeah, mate.
Totally agree.
Briefly, before we wrap it up, then, boys, one thing that me and the boys always say about when we get promoted, and I think this is ultimately what caught us out last time, is that we can't turn into sentimental FC again. Keeping the same crop of players that got us there, and then thinking, oh, we love these boys. We love Alioski. No, Alioski fucked off, didn't he? But the likes of clinging on to people like Bamford and Melier. Cooper, mate.
You look back, I think when you look back now, it's like, yeah, like, we shouldn't have been as sentimental, but I think we were probably right at the time, as Isaac, because we waited 16 long years and we obviously had a massive connection with these. They were, when Bielsa went on, he was the kind of the last resemblance, and when Bielsa left, we were all widows after he went. So I do think probably why it lingered on a little bit further, and probably even with Rajazani and Kinnear as well, they were probably like, well, these boys got us there. We feel like we kind of owe them to kind of stick with them as well. But when you look back now, but even some of the draft that we brought in as well, as when you look back at Llorente as well, look, he was horrendous for Leeds. Robin Koch as well, some decent games
Mark
here and there, but overall, Mark Rocket, poor footballer as well. Tyler Adams was just constantly injured. Weston McKennie, like, it was just
Whoa, you're
something
talking
mad.
about the Juventus captain? Have some respect.
Yeah, and look at him now. Look at him
Smashing
go.
it at the moment. He's smashing it at the moment, isn't he?
He's still a clown, isn't he? Though.
It's just under Jesse Marsh, but like that's probably the main thing was the Jesse Marsh appointment, lads. I think that's what I think was a downward spiral. That was the one when you look at it, when we're looking at Slaw, Iriola, Nunes, and we go get fucking Jesse Marsh, like, so that was the downturn for me. That's big time.
Yeah.
What were they?
I
scary.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think with the 49ers, though, they, because they were American, to be honest with you, they had, a good idea of the business to run a club, but not the football aspect of it. And that's why Marsh, you just seen an American, and this fella knows what he's at, and to be honest, hadn't a clue, still hasn't got a clue, and never will have a clue.
There's a reason he never got that Leicester and Southampton job as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Say he came in, did his PowerPoint, and he was probably just showing videos of Gladiator or something, and they were just like, "Who's this fella?" Just
talking about metrics.
Yeah.
I think penis ball, yeah, that's what we call it, penis ping pong ball. I think the fact that he put Rafinha on throw-ins, long throw-ins, just says it all, doesn't it? So you would have a glorified cheerleader.
It would have been one for your hot takes, lads. I seen someone actually turn around and say that Jesse Marsh made Rafinha the player he is today. I genuinely don't know whether he was taking a piss or he was being serious, but either way I laughed. And I just gave him the like anyway, because it was like, either way you've got me here.
Either way, fucking hell, mate. I saw something and I've screenshotted it. I need to send it to Charlie from Meltdowns. They said Rafinha Premier League flop. And I was like,
oh, yeah, I saw that.
What the fuck are you actually on about? Have you seen him smacking Gary
unbelievable in the Premier League?
That type of stuff really just boils my blood. Like,
you'd nearly say single-handedly kept us up, lads, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was sensational towards the end of that season. Sensational.
I think you don't get a flop that scores, 11, 12 goals a season, I think, back-to-back seasons for us. So that's not a flop at all, is it? I think we were a flop as a team, but he wasn't a flop. Definitely not.
Lads, for you, we've already answered this question. So for Dylan and Darren, mate, is he the best player to ever pull on the Leeds United shirt that you have seen? For us, I think it was a resounding yes. As long as I've been watching.
Yeah, I think ability-wise, love-wise, I'd probably err more to the side of Pablo, because he gave me more kind of happy moments. I just love Pablo to bits. He was there with us through the shit. But I think probably ability and quality-wise, yeah, that had to be Rafinha. Pablo, very, very close second. Pablo.
That's like me with Beckford.
Me with Viduka. I think I'm probably showing me age.
I was getting to that, Mike. That's what I was getting to.
I loved Viduka. I absolutely loved watching Viduka back in, especially in Champions League. What a player.
Yeah.
I was getting to that, yeah. I think I have to agree with Darren. I think ability-wise, potentially a Ballon d'Or winner in the future. Pure quality to say that he does play for Leeds. Goes to scum, I'll hate him instantly. Like that. But, he's definitely he's different type of gravy altogether. But love, the list could go on. What Darren said there, Pablo. I loved Luke Aylan. Darren knows that. He was just quality. You got Viduka, as you said, Beckford, Becchio, Johnny Housen to a certain degree. The list goes on. To be honest, I can't really pick, but it kind of makes it seem right to pick Rafinha. So yeah, I probably would say Rafinha.
if you hear me making like sex sounds about anything about League One, boys, it's just an in-joke. The lads say I've got League One autism, which is a bit. I have like got autism, so that's a bit nasty, lads, that you say that. Actually, I've been meaning to bring that up in our annual meeting. So I don't want to.
I think it's a compliment, mate. I think it's a compliment that you have League One autism.
Take it up with HR.
Get yourself on Mastermind, mate. Because there's no Isaac don't know about League One. Fair play to him. I think that needs to be your question of choice.
We're doing a League One show, lads. I don't know if you want to come during the international break. I don't know what you've got on, but I think we're going to do a League One show, aren't we, boys?
Yeah.
Love it.
I think we're gonna.
I think it brings you back to lads because there's some of the takes like and you are doing the meltdowns. There's some of the takes nowadays where they're saying, "Oh, this is the worst manager that we've had in decades." And it's just like, mate, you probably didn't even support us in League One when Elland Road only had 17,000 for a league game. Yeah. They were bad days. Do you know what? In fairness, the atmosphere in Elland Road was brilliant back in the days. I remember going to Elland Road would be rocking with 17,000 people. Like, but
I used to go to away games when we were in League One, and they were the best atmospheres and best fun I've had.
I imagine, yeah.
Got 30 odd years since I've been supporting Leeds. I think going to away games in League One is probably some of my fondest memories. So it's just that feel of being in the trenches and being together and all that. So yeah, loved it.
It's when we really rally behind each other, isn't it, Mike? When Leeds are shit is when we really get behind each other, isn't it? Like,
yeah, backs against the walls. Everyone against us. That's what it is. That's what it is to be Leeds, isn't it?
That's when the atmosphere is best.
Yeah. That minus 15 season. No, the promotion season in League One is obviously my favourite, but that minus 15 season was mental. That's brilliant, what really made me fall in love with Trezor Candle. Yeah, mate.
Dennis Wise and Gus Poyet at the helm won it as well.
His wobbly eyes. When you look back
Dennis
now,
Wise wobbly eyes. That's what my dad calls him.
His wobbly eyes, yeah. Poyet was definitely the brains behind that. And Steve Staunton was there as well. Do you remember he was in the background staff with them as well? I think it wasn't Gary Mack. Was Gary Mack?
Gary Mack took over.
Gary Mack, yeah.
Just ask Isaac anything about League One. He'll answer it for you.
I feel like this is like back in the bullying, lads, but we'll move on. Any League One stuff we can discuss. I'll be here for another 3 hours, lads, if we get into League One.
Yeah, definitely.
We loved that League One team, though. In fairness, I did. Some great memories back then.
Enoch Shawomney, great player. Anyway.
Newfield Kenny and all as well. Some great players. There it is.
Thank you very much for joining us. We really, really do appreciate it. We'll come on. Have you shared this on your channel, lads?
Yeah.
I was going to say we'll come onto yours or something if it works like that. I don't know.
Yeah, then we did. We'd had yous on ours before, didn't we, Charlie and Mike? Or was it just Charlie?
No, it was. No, I haven't been on yours yet. No,
I think we were on yours before, didn't you? Yeah, we came on ours before. It was.
Yeah.
Like them boys.
Yeah, definitely get you on at some point. Yeah, now that the schedule's kind of calmed down, it was there for a couple of days. Well, especially last week with the 3 games in 6 days, it was just like a video every single day, like build-ups, reviews. It was just constant. Yeah. So nice little breather now this week. So yeah, looking forward to a nice couple of days break.
Appreciate you coming on anyway. Yeah.
Thanks very much for having us on, lads.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Enjoyed that one.
Charlie, send us one.
Yeah, so just make sure that you're liking, commenting, and subscribing as always. And obviously, a big thank you again to Only Leeds Bros for joining us. And if you haven't checked them out, go and check them out as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, everyone.